10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage Vulcain. Allumage EAP, décollage. Tous les paramètres à bord sont lumineux.
Well, a beautiful liftoff as Ariane 5 began her mission rising into the night sky off of French Guiana, a trail of fire against the night sky. Right on time, 2020 local, carrying her passenger Intelsat 29e. So we are underway. The boosters are providing 92% of the thrust, propelling the launcher along her trajectory at ever higher velocity, getting her away from the pull of the Earth. The DDO says all is well on board. And there is a lot to pull. Ariane's weight at liftoff is about 770 tons. Most of that is fuel, which she will rapidly start to shed because she's burning 2 tons of fuel every second. Ariane now following the flight program in the onboard computer, which gives all the commands, including stage separations, which we'll soon see. We are in the first of 4 flight phases. The first 3 are powered, the last is not. We'll describe each in turn. Right now, the first flight phase, the single engine in the lower stage called Vega, and the 2 boosters are burning. The boosters will burn their propellant in just under 2.5 minutes, and they're the first hardware that we jettison. And you hear the DDO call out that milestone. We are heading out east over the Atlantic. The decision to build the site in French Guiana was made in the 1960s when France wanted to build a new base. This was in part made for its opening on the water, so we can launch over uninhabited areas. You see the single engine and the boosters are burning. And if the camera holds still, we can probably see the extinction and the separation of the boosters. There it is. You see the white light is the single engine still burning, and no, that can't be right. The orange is the single still burning, and the white are the boosters dropping away. Sorry about that. But beautiful shots anyway. Booster separation right on time. The onboard computer detecting that there's no more fuel in the tanks. As they have no more propellant to burn, the thrust decreases, and the computer, sensing the drop in acceleration, decides to separate them. The white light burning is the single engine of the lower stage. On the bottom of your screen, on the left, our altitude, over 100 kilometers. On the right, our speed, 2 kilometers per second, and climbing. Coming up next will be the fairing separation in about 20 seconds. And you see the logos there on the fairing, traditional logos placed there by the customers. The Guiana Space Center, Europe's spaceport, certified ISO 14001 in 2004, renewed in 2008 and in 2011. So that means everything we do here is meeting the environmental standards internationally. There is confirmation of the fairing separation. You see what that looks like. There are 2 halves actually. There's another half on the right part of the screen. Separation is given by 2 pyrotechnic systems, one horizontal, one vertical. They're cords that actually remove the fairing by a small contained explosion, and we like to emphasize contained explosion, poses no threat to the vehicle. It shears the rivets that connect the 2 parts and pushes them apart. We can separate the fairing now, of course, and you see Intelsat 29e exposed to the elements. We can separate now because we're out of the dense layers of the atmosphere, over 100 kilometers up. There's neither friction nor heating, which could disturb the passenger. We also like to discard any dead weight whenever possible to maximize the launcher's operation. The fairing weighs over 2 tons, stands 17 meters tall. We're into the second powered flight phase. The boosters have done their work. Only the single engine burning now. It'll burn for just under 9 minutes, 8 3/4 minutes in all. Our speed is important at this moment because that's the role of the main stage. Its cryogenic propellant system not only highly efficient, but provides a push that can last a long time. There are different propellant systems on Ariane. Cryogenics is used in the main stage, more efficient basically than solid propellant, as is used in the boosters. Basically, very basically, because I'm no engineer, solids are for getting us off the ground and away from the pull of the Earth. Cryogenics are for more precision orienting of the vehicle, and of course they also allow a stage to be reignited. That's in the other version of Ariane that we mentioned.
La trajectoire est nominale.
Everything is normal on board. The DDO continues to inform us. You can see Intelsat 29e there. That's the square box, waiting for her moment to be separated. We had a very busy year last year for all three Arianespace launchers, launching 6 Ariane 5s, April, May, July, August, September, October, and 3 each Soyuz and Vega. We began the year in February with the Vega and ended with a Soyuz mission in December. And this year promises to be just as full, with 11 launches scheduled, 8 with Ariane 5, so we should be approaching another record. On the right is Intelsat 29e. Beneath that, the white bands are the vehicle equipment bay, and under that, the broader white band is the upper stage. The long gray band to the left of that is the single cryogenic stage, the lower stage, and you can see the nozzle burning on the extreme left. We're going to be picked up by our first downrange tracking station in just a few seconds. That's over the border in Brazil at Natal. Natal is, we'll see the lower stage burnout and separation, as well as the upper stage ignition.
Acquisition de la télémesure lanceur par la station de Natal au Brésil.
And the DDO has just confirmed that we have picked up, that the Natal station has picked up the signal. All of Ariane's trajectory has been designed to be followed from the ground. The launcher is sending radar and telemetry back, and a network of stations keeps constant watch on our systems. Take a look at a launch replay now. Those exciting moments that took place 7.5 minutes ago. We may have another. We have cameras at several of the observation sites here around the base. So coming, we should have more of those for you in a moment. Here's one a little farther back, speeded up image, looks like. Galileo on the screen is the downrange tracking station right here.
La trajectoire est nominale.
Talking about the telemetry sent back by the launch vehicle. Telemetry is launch vehicle data, basically. Information on parameters, 1,000 of them, being collected and transmitted back to the ground stations every second by transmitters inside the vehicle equipment bay and to antennas outside the vehicle, checking Ariane's health and performance in flight, using pressure and temperature sensors, recording all her functions throughout the flight. It's another replay, looks like from closer up. We're coming up on extinction of the lower stage, and you'll see the nozzle, the blue flame on the left, shut down. There it is.
Fin de propulsion EPC.
DDO has
séparation de l'étage principal cryogénique.
And the lower stage has been separated, and you saw the ignition of the upper stage. These 3 commands given by the onboard computer in about 12 seconds.
De l'étage supérieur.
The main stage falls back into the Atlantic. You can see what that looks like off the coast of Africa. Up in space, all is well on board Ariane. Our speed, 6.8 kilometers per second. Our altitude, 229 kilometers. The speed we need to inject the satellite will be roughly 8.7, I think, kilometers per second. So when we start approaching those numbers, keep a lookout for that. We're now into the 3rd and final powered flight phase, a 16-minute burn for the upper stage. It'll burn until plus 24 minutes and 41 seconds. So two numbers looking ahead, 24 plus 2441, extinction of the upper stage, and plus 2942, the satellite separation. A film coming up for you now on the Intelsat group.
La propulsion est nominale. Trajectoire est nominale. Les paramètres de bord sont nominaux.
With ignition of the upper stage, we are into the second half of our mission, and we can look more closely at the satellite. Ariane 5 carrying Intelsat 29e, the world's leader in launch operations, tonight lifting a satellite for the world's leader in satellite services.